Travis Bickle, Tyler Durden, Jordan Belfort, Patrick Bateman, Tony Montana, and Bruce Wayne. You're probably very familiar with these characters. You could even say that you're literally them. Except you're forgetting one character. One character of an iconic 80s film that is now a cult classic but rarely talked about anymore. I'm talking about Julian Kay from the film American Gigolo, played by Richard Gere, a true icon. The film is directed by Paul Schrader, also the writer of the classic film Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. It's actually being rebooted as a series now with Jon Bernthal, which I haven't seen yet. I did watch the film American Gigolo and I was intrigued by it. I saw a lesson in it that I had to talk about a bit because it still felt relevant and relatable to this day in the modern era. Well, not the gigolo part, but let's just get into it. American Gigolo is an erotic noir crime film set in LA. It has a bit of Vice City vibes. And it follows a male escort called Julian Kay, whose clients are upper class, older women. It's not a typical job for a man, and it would be seen as a bit vulgar. However, the job of Julian requires clothing by Giorgio Armani, an expensive Mercedes car, and provides him a luxurious apartment. Julian's good looks, outfits, car, and overall pleasurable lifestyle makes this seem like a life that a lot of men would want. He seems confident and is very smooth in his way of talking, walking, you name it. Julian enjoys his job of sexually pleasing women, and he views this as some sort of rescue for older upper-class women who haven't had an orgasm in years. It's his mission to please these women because these gray-haired husbands of them can't do it, so Julian has to do it. Then after doing another job, he sits at a bar where he meets the wife of a California state senator, a woman called Michelle Stratton. Now this woman is a bit younger than the usual upper-class older women. She's somewhat of his age, and they start talking and seem to hit it off immediately. On one day, Julian's pimp sends him to a wealthy couple. The man of the wealthy couple wants Julian to have sex with his wife so he can watch. Odd fetish, but Julian finds it weird as well, but proceeds to do so because it earns him money. And at the same time, Julian is spending more and more time with Michelle. The two eventually become obsessed with each other. She sees more in him than a man who provides women a service, and he sees more in her than just another client. Eventually, he reads in a newspaper that the woman of the wealthy couple he slept with was murdered. Julian is now the prime suspect. Eventually, he figures out that he's been set up. He's been framed. Julian is becoming desperate now because this means he'll lose everything. The car, the clothes, the freedom. He falls into a crisis. He goes unshaved, loses the Mercedes due to finding evidence in it to try and frame him, and wears sloppy outfits. Julian tells Michelle to leave him alone due to him trying to protect her. Julian figures out that his pimp is trying to frame him. He seeks for help, and now we can see that with the luxurious material stripped away, he is merely a lonely man. And this is a coping mechanism for many in the modern day as well. Buying material things to fill an empty feeling inside of you, and loneliness to make it seem that you're better, more confident than you actually are. So Julian being with the many upper class women and socializing with them didn't actually mean anything. He was just providing a service, and there is never any real connection. Until Michelle, of course, his first real connection. After Julian throws a rage fit at his pimp's apartment where he attempts to try and clear his name, it doesn't work and he eventually ends up in jail. Michelle then comes to meet Julian and reconciles with him. She tells him that she talked to the police and gave them an alibi, that Julian was with Michelle the night of the murder, and this means for Michelle that she's sacrificing her marriage and reputation for him to be released from jail. So this is a symbolism of true connection. This means more to her than, the marriage or, her reputation. And then the film ends with Julian saying the following: "It's taken me so long to come to you." And this is showing that he finally found someone he can actually be with. Someone he can be with for the real connection, not for the material things, for the money, for the service, but actually to be with. So this time, love isn't the service he provides, it's real. This is shown very clearly in the last shot by his head falling against the window. He can finally stop doing what he's doing. The lifelong desperate search for connection is over, and he's found inner peace. So you first see a man that is confident, has all the material things, but is actually very lonely. From the inside, he has nothing. He's empty, he's lonely, he tries to fill a void with all these material things. And yeah, I wanted to make this video because in the modern day with social media, I see a lot of people that post a lot of content, post a lot of pictures and stuff like that to also fill a void in their life, to make it seem like their life is so happy, so good, so cool. Well, actually, they're very lonely. So it all comes down to real connection. That's what we should focus on in life. We shouldn't focus on the material things, the things that give us temporary pleasure, because it's fun for a little while, but eventually you want more and more, and it never stops. The thing that truly makes us happy, makes us fulfilled, is connection, connection with others, with friends, family, loved ones. This is what we should be looking for, what we should be focusing on in this life. So that was a short summary of a film I saw. I hope you understand these lessons a bit more when I link a film to it. And it's funny that a 1980s film still has a lot of relatability to this day.